everyone, and welcome back to our first Cabral HouseCall of the weekend, answering your questions each and every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. I'm dedicated to answering a dozen questions from our community here live on the podcast. No research is being done, just really relying on 20 plus years of experience in the health-based field, working with well over 250,000 people now and counting every single year. We just kind of stopped counting around that number. And the truth is just looking to give you a trusted source that you can hopefully rely on that enables you to take the next step towards your healing journey. So it might be wellness-based. It might be for you or a family member. It might be, again, for a loved one. It might be weight loss. It might be anti-aging. And I'm happy to help with that. I really am. It's something that I was helped with. I really was. I think my mentor was nice enough to be able to meet with me, and she saw something in me that let her just kind of give her knowledge to me without worry that, I was going to steal anything from her or anything like that. So that is why when I come on this podcast, I don't hold anything back. And I try to share with you exactly what I've seen to work, that I know to work inside of my private practice. So without further ado, let's dive right into the show. So the first question today, actually I don't even have my document open here today. We're going to open up the document right now. And it looks like the first question is from Ryan. And Ryan asks, with regards to D3 supplementation and vitamin K2, how important is it to get K2 if you're supplementing D3? If I'm taking 5,000 IUs of D3 daily, but I'm not getting K2 from supplements or eating organ meats or grass-fed butter, etc., do you think that could be an issue? Does taking magnesium and eating a well-rounded diet offset this potential issue? With the food sources of K2 being what they are, surely hardly anyone is getting much K2. What are the workarounds or other factors involved here? Or should I just get a K2 supplement? Yeah, it's a great question, Ryan. I get this question actually quite often, and it's a good question. And that's because sometimes people will be supplementing vitamin D, 4,000, 5,000 IUs a day. That's plenty for most adults. It really is. Like most adults, that's going to be plenty. So what if you're taking that and your vitamin D levels still are not between 50 and 70 nanograms per milliliter? Well, it's an issue, right? It's an issue. So if the number is not between 50 and 70 and it's like a 35 and yet you're supplementing already, what do? Do you take more vitamin D? The answer is typically not yes. It's typically no. And you need to work on absorptive factors. So you want to get in those cofactors and you name them. You want to be able to get in calcium, magnesium. You want to be able to get in vitamin K2. K1 works. K2's more absorbable. Well, what do? Well, honestly, the easiest way to do that is just through supplementation. And Ryan, I want to share with you why. So a lot of people always ask, why doesn't your vitamin D3 have K2 in it? And I say, I understand what you're saying. You're correct. But our K2 and K1 is inside of already the daily nutritional support shake. So if you are using our daily activated multi, or you're using our daily nutritional support like most people do inside of the community, you don't need to get more. We're already giving you that inside the shake. Now, you need more vitamin D that's inside than is inside of that shake, because we're not going to put 4,000 IUs inside of that shake. It's just, you wouldn't do that because you want to be able to allow people to customize up or down for that higher dosage vitamin D. For example, what if you live in Costa Rica and you can get sun all year round, right? I mean, you don't need to be taking vitamin D supplementation if you're getting a nice little tan. So here's the thing. Easy. You take a good activated multi. It's going to give you 100% basic of your RDA. That's it. I mean, honestly, it's that easy. That's the easiest way to do it. And then, of course, eat a good whole food diet, but now you don't have to worry about, am I getting enough grass-fed butter like you just said? All right, good question, Ryan. Mike's up next. How often should someone use an infrared sauna for mold toxicity or heavy metal toxicity? Thank you. Okay, great question. I work with a lot of biological doctors. My biological doctor, Dr. Yuko, is in Boston. And when I had my big wellness center, she used to send everybody over to my wellness center to do the infrared sauna. my protocol when you have mercury amalgams taken out or you have heavy metals is to use the sauna every day if possible, infrared sauna. And you want to do that for 2 to 3 weeks after you have those mercury amalgams taken out. On a research basis, 3 to 4 times a week for your sauna, infrared or otherwise. And heavy metals, infrared, mold, infrared or regular sauna. And then for like overall longevity, 5 days a week, instead of 3, 5 days a week for longevity, for all-cause mortality. So if you're using an infrared sauna, just keep in mind, you need to use it for more like 40 minutes. You really do, because the temperature is going to be lower, and you're going to then want to take in all the infrared rays. And if you're using a finished sauna, like a barrel sauna, like I also have, then you can just go in for 20 minutes to 30 minutes maximum. The research says right at 19 minutes, you're good. So 20 minutes at a very hot temperature works as well. So, ideally, 20, 30 minutes for regular sauna, 40 minutes for an infrared sauna. Both are great. As many days a week as possible, Mike, is the answer. Okay. Sarah's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you so much for all your amazing content and giving us the opportunity to learn so much and so deeply about the body and mind. Thank you, Sarah. I'm writing today for a friend. I tried finding podcasts about this. When looking for health answers, I always go to your podcast, but without luck. My question is regarding rheumatoid arthritis, which underlying imbalances to focus on healing or at least minimize the pain, stiffness, and swollen joints. She is not yet diagnosed, but I'm a nurse. It seems like that's what it is. Nevertheless, it's definite that she has inflammation and a lot of pain and being swollen in the joints. I guided her towards diet and lifestyle, gut health, inflammation. She's tried MSN, I think it's supposed to be MSM, glycogen, collagen, magnesium for joint health. But anyway, I would like to know more about how to address it. Okay, yeah, I'm happy to help. So rheumatoid is an interesting one. If you're looking it up on my stephencabral.com/podcast, the spelling of rheumatoid is very unforgiving. It's RH. So when you're searching this, I'm going to actually go to it right now. If you go to stephencabral.com/podcasts and we just type in rheumatoid, RH, I even just spelled it wrong right there. There we go. RHEUMATOID. And let's see. We've got rheumatoid on 1710, 1570, 1311, 996, 981, 715, 582, 575, and 387. So you'll be able to find all of those podcasts right there, Sarah, on rheumatoid arthritis. But I want to give you the short answer first. So first, have them read my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. Again, 100% of all profits go to charity. They need a basis to understand how they got here. Their rain barrel is full. Why do they have RA? Well, most likely, there is either candida overgrowth or SIBO or both, along with intestinal permeability. So now they're spilling proteins and bacteria into their bloodstream. Now their immune system's overreactive and they have massive amounts of inflammation. Inside of their genetic code, it says rheumatoid arthritis. Remember, someone else's might say Hashimoto's. Someone else's might say MS. Another person's might say lupus. This person, like my family, is all rheumatoid arthritis. I had it when I was 17. I don't have it now. Why don't I have it now? Turned off that switch, right? Because I emptied the rain barrel, I sealed up my gut wall, life is good. So that's what we need to start with, okay? But again, I'm not giving you a cure or a treatment protocol. That's not what we can provide on this podcast. We look at underlying root causes. Does rheumatoid arthritis go away in a day? No, it's going to take a couple months to work on these specific things for the underlying root cause imbalances. Look at food sensitivities. You're going to, ideally, if someone has RA, you want to run the big 5 labs. Omega-6s to omega-3s, vitally important. Food sensitivities, vitally important. High levels of cortisol and stress for rheumatoid arthritis, vitally important. So that's what I recommend. Work with an integrative health practitioner or order the big 5 at equa.life/labs. Thank you, Sarah. Hopefully that's helpful. And again, read that book, The Rain Barrel Effect. It's almost free. And the part that isn't free all goes to charity. So Lara is up next. Lara, like Sarah, but Lara. Hi, Dr. Cabral. You amazing soul. Thank you, Lara. I heard of some benefits of using the mushroom Ganoderma. So I'll talk about this in just one second. But I always have to check it with you. You are my go-to on all things health, so please explain more about it. I have fibromyalgia, but I'm sure information could also help others. Thank you so much for everything you do. Much love to you, your family, and everyone trying to heal. Same to you, Lara. That's the truth, and I appreciate the kind words. Take a little sip here. All right, so, well, this mushroom name, I never look it up, but it's either pronounced Ganoderma, I don't know. But here's the thing. It's reishi mushroom, really, is what you're asking about. So once you know that this is another name for reishi mushroom, then you can go to stephencabral.com/podcast and type in reishi, which is another strange spelling because, and I just spelled it wrong again, my typing skills are atrocious. I mean, they really are. So reishi is R-E-I-S-H-I. Yes. R-E-I-S-H-I. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to give you the podcast that I talk all about reishi mushroom. It is episode 1463, 1393, 1463, 1393, and 792, okay? So those podcasts, I talk about it. And it's literally called the immortality mushroom. Now, you know, if you've heard my shows on mushrooms before, if you haven't, go check out those podcasts for sure. Definitely just, if you ever can't find a podcast, by the way, go to cabralsupportgroup.com. Michelle is amazing at being able to find previous podcasts. So go to cabralsupportgroup.com, ask the community, where are the podcasts on mushrooms? And you'll get all my podcasts on mushrooms. And I actually go through all the different beneficial ones. There are so many, by the way. But here's the thing. Mushrooms are not great for a lot of people as well. And mushrooms can push the immune system one way or the other. Mushrooms are medicine. I don't think you should really play with mushrooms too much unless you know which ones to use. But there's always a caveat. And the caveat is reishi mushrooms are pretty much amazing for everyone. They balance both Th1 and Th2 side of the immune system. They may help with the Th17 part of the immune system, which deals with yeast. So even though they're a fungus and essentially a yeast, as a mushroom, they may actually be beneficial. So reishi mushroom is like if I was only gonna do one mushroom, it would be reishi mushroom. There's just no doubt about it. So there's my opinion. I think it's fantastic. I really do. Do I take reishi mushroom? No, I don't. I mean, I take many other supplements, but I don't take that. But have I taken it before? Yes. When I was trying to overcome my allergies, I was using reishi mushroom as well. So I think it's great. I really do. It's a nice balancer. It's like a modulator. It's essentially an adaptogen. And I think it's great. Now, again, if you have fibromyalgia, you've heard my shows before on fibromyalgia, I'm sure, Lara. So I would look into, again, gut permeability. I would look into high levels of stress. I would look into food sensitivities. I would look in your omega-6 to your omega-3 levels. I would look at heavy metals. I would look at anything that causes inflammation and fills up your rain barrel. I used to have fibromyalgia. It's terrible. Nothing, no fun at all. So definitely check more into that. All right. Great questions so far today. Great questions. Carolyn is up next. Hello, Dr. Rawl. My son and I were patients of yours a few years back, and you were very helpful. I'm hoping you can help once again. I just found out I am positive homozygous ApoE, and I'm terrified as my mother has dementia. You have mentioned the benefits of ashwagandha, but I have read where it is not recommended for people with autoimmune issues. I have Hashimoto's and Sojourns. Should I still take it? Thank you, and God bless, Carolyn. Thank you, Carolyn, and good to hear from you again. I would say this, that why do you have Hashimoto's and Sojourns? Like, let's take ashwagandha out of the equation. I don't necessarily buy into the ashwagandha and the Hashimoto's and Sojourns, but let's just say yes. Why do you have Hashimoto's and Sojourns? That's what we need to work on, right? Those are autoimmune issues. Sojourns can be triggered by multiple things. It could be that you've been on Prilosec or Zantac or any Prevacid for many, many years, many issues, right? So what I would say is why, because let's correct those. You need to correct the underlying imbalances that are causing those, because those are immune issues, which means you have inflammation in your body. Remember, it's not just cortisol or having ApoE that's causing any Alzheimer's issues. Please go back and check out my episodes on Alzheimer's. I did a 3-part series about 2 years ago. It might have been 3 years now, but it hasn't changed. So check out my 3-part series on Alzheimer's. Definitely check that out. Now, so let's fix the Hashimoto's, let's fix the sojourns. If you have not taken my Thyroid Health Results Accelerator, Carolyn, I can't recommend that enough. If you want to go to stephencabral.com/accelerators, is that it? No, /courses. Go to stephencabral.com/courses, and you might want to check out that thyroid rebalancing one. I would definitely check that out. Okay, so in terms of ApoE, now remember, if you are homozygous for an ApoE4 allele, you are then maybe 90%, much more likely than general population to get Alzheimer's. However, in the big grand scheme of things, still only about 10% of people get it. So now, hopefully that alleviates your concerns, because healthy people, even homozygous for Alzheimer's, are not necessarily going to get Alzheimer's, and there's nothing saying that they will. So what we need to control are all the factors that I spoke about on my Alzheimer's-based shows. More of a plant-based diet, balance between cardio and anaerobic-based exercise, controlling the amounts of inflammatory fats and inflammatory foods in the diet. Again, like, you'll be able to see the markers. Alzheimer's does not have to sneak up on people. It does not. You can check specific markers that I talk about, looking at homocysteine, looking at CRP, looking at cortisol. It doesn't come out of nowhere. There is no disease that comes out of nowhere. The only reason it comes out of nowhere is because doctors have not listened to the previous show I just did last week or 2 weeks ago that's called The Only Lab Testing That Truly Matters. That was episode 1789. So hopefully you tune into that show. The only lab testing that truly matters. It's not just blood work. That's the giveaway. So Carolyn, I really think that you'll be fine. You're starting so early on being able to reverse a lot of issues, rebalance the body, get your body healthy, stay focused on the positive, stay focused on the healing journey, help you, your family, maybe even take the Integrative Health Practitioner course as well. I think that could be fantastic too. So Carolyn, there you go. Hopefully that helps. Corey is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. My 4-week-old is currently being tested for Hirschsprung's disease. While we wait for tests and results and maybe surgery, the surgeon has prescribed 4 bowel irrigations a day. It seems excessive, and I worry that she'll lose muscle tone and become dependent on the irrigation to have a bowel movement. Are there natural ways to manage Hirschsprung's disease? Thank you. This is a great question. So I don't know a lot about Hirschsprung's. I just want to let you know that. So I'm not the expert in this area. Please do rely on your medical doctors and specialists, since this is a congenital birth-based issue that you'll want to deal with. So basically, people, the majority of the population who are not familiar with Hirschsprung's, is basically, I believe it's difficulty getting that peristaltic movement in the bowel and colon, so the large intestine, and so difficulty having a bowel movement. So obviously this is an issue because you get then backup of feces, and feces is bacteria. So this is important, and it's good that it's diagnosed obviously young. If your child's not having a bowel movement, well, I mean, and we're not talking about child, we're talking about newborn. So what you want to be able to do is look at all the information that you have available. If this is a congenital-based issue, it may have to be surgically corrected. Like, there's a time and place for conventional medicine. I don't talk people out of conventional medicine. I don't at all. When people are talking about, is there a natural alternative? Well, I want to go for the natural alternative. I don't know of one in this case, Corey, and so I just want to be honest with you. 4 bowel irrigations a day, though, seems maybe a little excessive. However, newborns are having bowel movements all throughout the day. So if you think about it, how many bowel irrigations would you want to do a day? Well, for an adult, if you weren't able to have a bowel movement, you'd want to have at least 1, maybe 2 a day, right? And for a newborn, it might not be that far off to have 4 a day. What I'm trying to do is just give you a balanced approach, because I'm not an expert in this area. And so I wish you all the best. I wish I could help more, but I'm simply not qualified to give you a good answer on that. All right, well, that looks like we already got to our 6 questions for the day, but I look forward to being back tomorrow answering 6 more of our community's questions. Thank you so much. Take care. Hope you're enjoying your weekend, and I'll talk with you tomorrow.